Hey guys, welcome back to 1776 or Bust. So on the table you see my field stripped PPQ and tungsten gray. Now the reason why I did this was because a couple of days ago, Big Johnson, a buddy of mine, posted a video on his stainless steel guide rod and his PPQ, and he shot it, and he felt that the stainless steel guide rod actually made somewhat of an improvement in regards to how flippy this gun felt in his hand. So of course, I'm always a skeptic when people start talking about the PPQ and its supposed flip and everything else like that. So I decided to reach out to Stainless Steel Guide Rods, and the owner of the company, great guy, spoke to him on the phone, and he was really cool about everything, and he actually sent me a stainless steel guide rod for the PPQ and for the PO1 to test out to see what I thought about it. Now, at first, I was a bit skeptical, I'm not going to lie, and honestly, after shooting both guns today, and I'll do the PO1 at some other point, but the PPQ is the one that's on the table, I'm going to tell you that I am not that skeptical any longer. Now, while I'm going to tell you I did not technically feel that noticeable of a difference in regards to the muzzle rise, I will tell you that after shooting 10 rounds with this and 10 rounds with that, I would say there is somewhat of a difference. Now, some of you might say, well, what can you really tell with 10 rounds with your polymer guide rod versus 10 rounds in your stainless steel guide rod? Guys, I just want you to know I've shot probably close to over 2,000 rounds through Walther PPQs. So as far as I'm concerned, they've all had the polymer guide rod. Am I an expert at anything? Not really, but I would tell you that I have enough experience with the PPQ to at least be able to say, do I feel a noticeable difference? Again, several thousand rounds. Today I put about 250 rounds for the PPQ with the stainless steel guide rod. And I'm going to tell you that while I didn't necessarily feel anything different, like I didn't feel a noticeable decrease in the muzzle flip, I would tell you that I felt more accurate, I guess I should say, with the stainless steel guide rod than with the polymer guide rod. Now what I mean by that is I'm going to show you the first 10 rounds that I shot with the polymer. And what you can see here is while they're not that great, I mean, it's a pretty tight group. I mean, you know, whatever. You know, if it's not tight enough for you, then go out and buy your own PPQ and shoot it. I don't really care. But what I'm showing you here is my 10 rounds that I did with the polymer guide rod. This was at 7 yards. Again, I have 2 low, several in the middle here, and then a few at the top. So do I feel like this is a good grouping? Yeah, I do. Is it the best? No, it's not, because I'd like to have them all in the black. But, you know, whatever. I feel pretty good at 7 yards. That's not a bad grouping for me. Now, after I shot those 10 rounds, I went ahead and I put the stainless steel guide rod. And these are the 10 rounds I had with the stainless steel guide rod. Again, first one was a flyer. If you can see that right there. I know the paper's kind of bright, but right there. And then the rest are dead set in the middle. So what I would attribute that to, could it be, you know, maybe this was the first 10 and I was a little bit cold, maybe this was the second 10, got a little bit more comfortable. That could possibly be it as well. However, I will tell you that it just felt a little bit more in control with the stainless steel guide rod inside the gun. Again, that's just my feeling about it. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a video with this, and it's basically, I think it's 25 rounds, maybe more than that. I think it's 25 rounds that I recorded, and I'll show you the grouping that I got. It's not the best grouping in the world. I have a few on the outside, but again, I felt pretty good with it. I would tell you that I felt more flat with the stainless steel guide rod with shooting this gun than with the actual polymer guide rod. So what I'm going to do is we'll see the video, and then we'll finish it up from there. So here's the video. Hey everybody, 1776 or Bust. I'm at the gun range shooting my PPQ with a stainless steel guide rod from SS Guide Rods. Wasn't a real believer in these, however, I just shot my first 20 rounds, 10 with and without the guide rod in it, and the results were both very good, but much better with the stainless steel guide rod. So here's another 10 with the stainless guide rod. Jerked that last one. Here's another 10. That was a little shitty towards the end, but let's see what we got here. As you can see, not too bad, not too good. Again, a little bit faster than I'd want to shoot, but I got some flyers here, but mostly center. So not bad, 7 yards. You know, with that stainless steel guide rod, do I notice a reduction in muzzle flip? I don't know if I notice it too much, but I definitely have to say, guys, I feel like it's shooting straighter and flatter, but not by much. But I definitely think there's an improvement. So that's just stainless steel guide rod, PPQ, 20 rounds. Okay, so hopefully with that, you can see that it was fairly accurate at 7 yards. Again, do I feel it was my best grouping ever? No, not really. But you know what? I'm okay with it. It seems to be fair enough for me. Now, in regards to the stainless steel guide rod, it was absolutely no fitting whatsoever. It came as shown, so everything is attached. The recoil spring is inside already, so you don't have to bolt this in or anything like that. It goes in like any other guide rod. This is going to be your front, and so basically you just insert it in, give it a little pressure, whoops, a little pressure there, and it seats into the lug, and that's where it goes. And again, to put it back on the PPQ, again, it's very standard. Let me do this out of camera so I can actually see what I'm doing. You know, again, it's very standard. There is absolutely no issue with this. I had no issues with any kind of bad rounds or bad feeds or any failure to eject or anything like that. So 250 rounds later, I feel fairly confident that this stainless steel guide rod is going to do what it says it's going to do, which is to make this gun rise a little bit less. Again, is it going to be the end-all and be-all? No, it's not, but I think it does definitely help a little bit. Now, that little bit can mean the difference between hitting 9 out of 10 of your rounds in the black, or maybe, you know, whatever, 4 or 5, 5 or 6 out of 10 in the black. So again, it really is going to depend on the shooter. Again, I definitely want to get some more time with it, you know, just to be sure that it does make a difference. But right now, if I was going to say, does this work? I would say, yes, it does. Does it work to the point where you're going to feel nothing, no muzzle rise at all? You know, maybe not, probably not. But I think it's good enough to use. And I think I'm going to start going over to stainless steel guide rods in all my handguns because I just felt that it made a big enough difference for me to notice that I was a little bit more accurate today. So anyway, I hope you guys liked the video. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. We always appreciate that. And hopefully you guys are having a great weekend or a weekday, I guess, out there. So I hope you guys have a good night. And as always, freedom is never free.